Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful empowered harmonizers. And we're zooming in and focusing in on a great viewer question that we just got in, and that is, how does low self-esteem start? How does low self-esteem start? That is a great viewer question. And when we talk about self-esteem, we're talking about self-love or positive self-regard. Not narcissistic self-love, like, look at me, I'm the greatest gift to the earth. It's not that, which oftentimes narcissists or psychopaths will act in this way and feel this way. We call that grandiosity, or we call that entitlement. But really on the focus of this video is to understand how low self-esteem is started. And so it is taught to an individual either from childhood, especially through the ages of 0 to 5, and then furthermore into life where it can be reaffirmed, is basically there's an aspect that about you that is not lovable or is not approved of. And this is set up oftentimes by very controlling, authoritarian parents or narcissists, people who then deliver to the message to their child that they are not lovable. They are not approved of for the way that they are. So if you are taught that you are not lovable and you are taught that you are not approved of, that basically sets up low self-esteem, which is basically the foundation of fear. It is the opposite of love, which is fear. And fear, if you're taught that you're not lovable, you will enter into a perpetual state of fear. You will enter into a perpetual state of unease and dis-ease. You will enter into a feeling of paranoia, or I am not belonging, I am not fitting in, I am not, everybody else is at the party and I'm not in the party of life. You're feeling like you are not included. You are feeling like you deserve to be excluded, like an untouchable in the caste system of India. That is where low self-esteem begins. And oftentimes, this becomes a very unmanageable state. So people then develop defense mechanisms in order to cover up their low self-esteem. They develop other ways of becoming either rigid or controlling, or to basically cushion the wound that is always there underneath the surface. So this can be a wound that really creates repeated wounding and repeated scarring. That is low self-esteem. So low self-esteem is taught that you are not valid or valuable for who you are or what you are doing. And people with low self-esteem will feel ashamed. They'll keep their head down. In other words, they're looking at the ground. They're literally looking down, and their body language then repeats the exact emotion. And so they become emotionless, meaning they no longer feel like they have the drive to succeed. They're not entering into the world in the way that they could be if their potential were to be lifted up and they were to nurture positive self-esteem. Low self-esteem can also be embedded and recreated by other people outside of the family. So other significant others, people in a position of power and influence, like a teacher or a neighbor or a boyfriend, someone who you become open to and trusting. This person also can cause and repeat low self-esteem as part of your identity, part of your I am. And so it can really taint and spill over into many areas of your life. I am not lovable. I am not good enough. I am ashamed. I'm embarrassed. I'm fearful, because that is the opposite of love. Love is the opposite of fear. So you're taught that you are not good enough. And so there's this, drive for overcompensating. The people who drive to, outdo themselves in order to feel of value. They are placing their value in things that they do or that they give rather than just who they are. They don't feel value as a person. They must get, all this stuff, or they must give all this stuff to others to feel like they are a person of value. Now, there's nothing wrong with gift giving. Absolutely not. It's a wonderful connection and it's a wonderful bond to be able to celebrate and give gifts to people and make them meals and take them out and do all these things, these wonderful things that is part of a healthy relationship. We're talking about when someone who has such low self-esteem that they don't feel that they are a person of value themselves, that they must place value in these other things, that they are not good enough, they are not lovable, that they must then shield themselves with these defense mechanisms, or people who get mixed up in the wrong crowd and they drink or drug, that they'll only be lovable in these self-sabotaging relationships. And so it's very important to understand and observe within your own life, how has low self-esteem impacted you in your relationships, and also the relationships that you pursue, the jobs that you pursue. Oftentimes people hinder and hold themselves back from relationships, from hobbies, from professional drive, from development of their talent because of low self-esteem. They don't give themselves the support that they really should perhaps been receiving from others. You've got such a great knack with sewing. You should be an interior designer. You've got such a great knack for, fixing things. You should be, you should run a business, instead of having that positive milieu around which can cultivate and grow you. Like, as I was talking in a previous video, you're like your own little ecosystem. Instead, it's like, you're no good, here's some more darkness. You can't really grow around criticism and around these constant conditional relationship dynamics that are based on getting approval only if you are like this and this to me. In other words, the control people, they want results. They want you to follow exactly what they say. They don't care really about who you are. They just want to have it come back to them. So the narcissist oftentimes can cause really profound, when you're with these malignant individuals, it can cause a very profound low self-esteem because it's based on always pleasing them. And then you become the people pleaser and it never becomes about you. So you feel like this invisible, just wisp that you don't even know exists, but you wish it did. And so that's really what the healing journey is about. It's getting back to that inner essence of goodness and truth and purity, and giving the nurturing, supportive environment and supporting yourself with people who can actually give you the love, who can be unconditional, who aren't looking at you for a gift, who aren't looking at you with criticism, who aren't looking at you to see if you measure up or if you did what they told you to do. It has to come from within. It has to be a self-generated situation when you really are developing your self-esteem. It's to see and look at pictorially, what does low self-esteem look like in me? Am I always crying? Am I friendless? Am I always, sitting isolated? Or am I giving myself mercy? Am I giving myself gentleness? Am I giving myself a time to listen and reflect? Am I nurturing my body? Am I surrounding myself with good people who are supportive? And if they're not supportive, can I let them know, hey, I need some support, and not feel embarrassed to ask for help? Surround yourself with the professionals, people who you can look up to, not people who drag you down. And it is to know and then be comfortable with people who can educate, inform, build you up, and help you and support you in the right direction, who can educate you, educare, from the Latin to bring out those strong elements of you, and not worry about the weaknesses. Let the weaknesses fall away. There's plenty of people in the world who have strengths in your areas of weakness. You don't need to be an accountant. If someone is telling you to be an accountant or be a this, what, that, and that, and you're not, that's not you. That's not me. And there's no shame in that. There's no fault in that. There's plenty other people who can do the math, who can run the business, who can lay the bricks, who can direct the movies. Let me be me. Let me make the best cupcake. Let me sell my cupcakes. Let me make the best chocolate chip cookies. Let me sell my cookies. I can make the best socks, whatever it is. I can make it. This is me. This is my niche. So get to know your own niche. Your self-esteem is there. This is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today, and I hope that these videos do help. Please share, please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support. Peace out.